Steve Nissen, WEAR Pensacola. A lot of times when a team wins a championship, you see the next year they don't come back with the same hunger. Are you seeing that? What are the signs you're seeing in terms of the level of hunger?
I think our team knows that that's old. This team hasn't done anything yet. It's a whole new team. We want to establish a new identity for ourselves. Everybody's working hard. Nobody's complacent. And I think our freshmen are buying into the process already. It's instilling them from seeing the older guys do the right thing. So I think this team's going to be fine.
Tom Menino, WBTM 13 in Birmingham. Obviously, there's been some off-the-field issues when it comes to your team this offseason, specifically with Cam Robinson and Hootie Jones. As one of the leaders in the team, the more experienced guys in the team, when stuff like that happens, do some of the older players reach out to those guys when that happens? And how much can you really try to make sure that everybody kind of stays out of that stuff when it comes to off-the-field issues? Is there anything you guys can do?
When anybody on our team gets in trouble, we're a family. We're all going to, reach out and say something to them. We're there for them, support them. But as far as that goes, that's out of my hands. That's Coach Sabin. He takes care of that. I just say, guys, I just give my support. But other than that, it's in Coach Sabin's hands.
O.J., this will be the third straight year that you guys are going to be breaking in a new starting quarterback. Obviously, you guys have had great success with that the last couple seasons. As an offense, what do you guys do to help make that a smooth transition and help with the quarterback's development through the season?
Like you said, it's third straight year. I think we've done great so far with that over the years. So, the coaches does a great job of working with the quarterbacks in the whole season, allowing them to go over the playbooks. Those guys focus, they do the right things, and whichever guy wins over the team in the whole season and going to the camp, usually the starting quarterback.
O.J. Tony Cornish Jr., WTBY TV in Dothan. Talk a little bit about the off season, what it's been like for you after coming off the national championship game, your outstanding performance, reception you received from fans, family, everybody around, and how you redial and try to refocus on a new mission this year.
It's been great. Back home, a lot of support. I had a parade back home for me, so they've been showing a lot of support for me. But like I said, that's in the past for me. I know it's a big game for me, a big moment for me, but I try to brush that off. I want to bring a new identity to myself for this season, so focusing on getting better, becoming a complete tight end.
Go right back.
O.J., you mentioned quarterbacks winning the team. In your mind, how does a quarterback do that? How do they do it without dividing the team? Because you've got several guys vying for the same position.
I think it starts with being vocal in the huddle, a guy who shows confidence even when he messes up. No matter what, he still has a big. He's very enthusiastic still. He shows great determination, and I see that out of all our quarterbacks right now. Because everybody makes mistakes, so they're going to throw an interception every now and then. But who bounces back? Who doesn't make the same mistakes twice? And I think that's what the coaching staff looks for out of a quarterback. And whichever guy does that the best, I think he wins over the team.
O.J. Tierra Gibson, WAFB Baton Rouge. I'm just wondering what it's like blocking against a defensive line like the Tigers, or what it's like playing in Tiger Stadium.
Definitely one of the loudest stadiums I ever played in. Always have great talent each year on the defensive line. Every year we play them, it's been a tough game, great competition. And I'm looking forward to going out there again this season, so I'm excited about that.
Same area.
Hey, O.J. Jacques Doucet, WAFB TV in Baton Rouge as well. What does Coach Sabin do to get you guys hungry again, or does he have to do that to you guys?
I don't think he has to. I think, with us being competitors and us having goals as a team, we know what it takes to get to what we want to accomplish. So, Coach doesn't have to say much. Coach is still going to be there for us to coach us up, give us the speeches that we need. But if you don't want to win, I don't think, you're a competitor. So he don't have to say too much to get us fired up.
Right here.
Out of the quarterbacks, Cooper is the one that has the most experience. What have you kind of seen in his development in spring and in the off season?
I would just say him being more vocal. He kind of, in the years, him being a younger guy, probably be a little, shy. Wasn't quick to say anything, but now he's being more vocal. He's been a very good leader for us. He's doing a great job of teaching the other quarterbacks different things. Each quarterback's helping each other out, but he's probably the most, like you said, experienced one. And just seeing him evolve and being more vocal is it's a great thing to see.
We'll go right here in the front.
Hey, O.J. Seth Austin, ABC 3340 here in town. A couple coaching changes for you this season. Brent Key getting hired to be the offensive line coach. Mario Cristobal moving to tight ends with you. Is that a little more special attention with the tight ends that could help you grow and develop to become an NFL talent type guy?
Yeah, you can look at it like that. I see Coach Cristobal is a great coach. You know, even when he coached the O-line, the enthusiasm he brought every day to practice and the enthusiasm he brings every day in our tight end room is second to none. He's gonna have us ready to play every game. He's teaching us great techniques, and I'm excited about the season. And like I said, man, he's a great coach, and I'm just happy to see where we go from here.
Right back here in the back.
OJ, Bo and Damien are going to be asked to take on a greater role out of the backfield this season. How have you seen those two guys develop?
Yeah, mature a lot. You know, last year we had a great running back. So those guys. To play under a running back from last year and just to see how he played and Derek, I think those guys have matured, and I see it now. Bo and Damien are both helping the younger guys that came in this year, the freshman running backs. They're being leaders also at their position, and I think they're going to be ready for the challenge that we're asking them this season.
OJ, Stephen Gunner, WSFA Montgomery. You've talked about the final game last season and building off that. Is there a way that you look at your senior season as I've got to perform this way, or it's a letdown, or do you put any of that pressure on you for a final season?
No, I don't put any pressure on myself. I know what I need to do. You know, just go out there and play hard for my team every game. Everything else will take care of itself. You know, I know our coaching staff will do the right things to have us prepared, and Coach Cristobal will do everything to have me prepared to play each game to the best of my abilities. So there shouldn't be any pressure at all. You know, I'm trained to do what I do on Saturday night, so I'm excited about that.
During the season, when we're in Tuscaloosa talking to you guys, we usually ask you from time to time questions about fans and just the attention you get playing for this team. Was walking in the lobby today kind of the epitome of the attention that you guys receive pretty much everywhere you go?
Yeah, definitely. Our fans, they're here bright and early in the morning. That's just an example of how it's going to be in the fall when the season comes around. And no matter where we play, the fans are always there traveling with us, show great support. So this is only not even half for our fans. So I only can imagine when the fall rolls around and the first game in September comes.
What went through your mind when you saw that lobby?
Say that again?
What went through your mind when you saw that lobby?
It was, kind of like, wow, this many people just came for media days. Imagine when they actually come for the whole game, for a real game. So it was kind of, not really nerve-wracking, but it was just shocking to see a lot of people come for media days.
Back here.
OJ, you talked about how Coach doesn't really have to get you guys hungry, and last year was last year. This year's team hasn't done anything yet. What is it, though, about Alabama? Because not every team does this, but you guys seem to do a good job of compartmentalizing one season to the next and staying hungry. What is it that you guys do different?
I just think the way we work in the off season, and we have a 24-hour rule each game. So leaving each game behind and moving on to the next. Same thing with the seasons. Leaving one season behind, moving on to the next one. And all the work that we put in the off season is it's a tough challenge for us, and we know that. So you don't want to have a letdown, and all that work you put in, you want to make sure it pays off during the season. So each guy has it in the back of their mind when we step on that field, and I think that's what makes us so good.
OJ, you touched upon the LSU game for a while. People call it the biggest game in college football, all the NFL talent and whatnot, but you've beat them 5 in a row now. Has the game lost any luster? How do you view the matchup now?
No, it's each year is still going to have the same hype because of, like you said, all the talent that's on both sides of on the teams. This year, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said earlier, man, and LSU is a great team. Every year they're a great team, so we respect them. I think they think the same of us. So each year is going to have the hype around it, and I just can't wait till November 5th. Looking forward to that game.
You talked about Bo and Damien, but and Alabama's always been known for their running backs, but is this the best receiving core, yourself included as a tight end, that Alabama may have ever had? I
really can't speak for the other generations of receivers to come through, but I know this group we have are just a bunch of guys that are hardworking, but the most important thing, we're coachable, and We listen. And the receivers, those guys, they do the right things when it comes to the little techniques and fundamentals to getting open on routes. Great receiving core, no doubt about it. But great, one of the best. And I'm not sure about that, but I know we're very coachable, and that's what makes us so different.
Back over here in the corner.
Hey, O.J., do you think if Coach Sabin was coaching at Vanderbilt that he'd have the same number of national championships? In other words, is it something to his coaching, or is there something unique about Alabama?
I think Coach. Yeah, I think so. I think it's really Coach. The way he coaches and the standard that he holds his players to, and if he coached at the University of Vanderbilt or Vanderbilt University, I'm not sure, but but if he coached there, I think he'll still get the recruits. It'll take time, but I think it's a coaching that he does. So yeah.
And how about just your championship game performance? Maybe some thoughts about going pro, but coming back.
I thought about it, but like I said, it was some goals that I had left on the table that I wanted to accomplish. So that's the reason I came back to school, and looking forward to accomplishing those goals this year also.
Hey, O.J., I was just curious, everybody talks about the business culture there, and you got to kind of have that mindset when you're recruited. Could you go back a few years and talk about that? And as guys come in now, what kind of fit does a player have to be to flourish in the culture there? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I understand. I think it's really not much about the talent, man. It's about a person who wants to give effort. You come in and work hard. You do the right things. I think you come in and play in our system. Of course the guys have good talent, but if you work hard, put in the work, do everything that coaches ask you, you'll have a chance to play on the field.
We talk so much about coaches coming and going in college football. You guys have had some obviously at the head coaching position, all continuity, but especially some continuity at the offensive coordinator spot with Lane Kiffin. How important is that, just the fact that he's still there and you have some continuity there when it comes to the offensive coordinator and with Lane?
It's huge. Coach Kiffin is a great offensive coordinator, great offensive mind. The things that they do to get us open, to get the playmakers the ball is outstanding. And I think that's just having him there for all these years and him standing around is great for us. We're happy to have him, and hopefully to keep him around for many more years.
O.J., we spoke to your mom downstairs. I think it was kind of a surprise maybe that she showed up here, but you mentioned the support back home and how proud they are when we've spoken with them in the past about staying to get the degree, and how much do you play for her back home and everyone back in Fever Country?
It's, back home the support is outstandanding. I think about it all the time. Being a person, one of the first people from my city and my town to make it big like this is awesome. So I always try to, do my best for my city and for my town, and everybody's proud of me, no matter, how I play or what I do. They'll always be proud of me, but, it does motivate me a lot to play hard for those guys back home.
We have time for one or two more questions.
O.J., how many championship rings do you have, SEC and national championship rings?
I have 4. I have two SEC rings, and one national championship.
With all the
Playoff.
success, what keeps you guys hungry and motivated? Why is it not a one-of? Why is it sustained success?
Like I said, I think everybody want to compete and be a competitor. You want to always get what's out there for you. You want to do more, achieve more. You don't want to be satisfied with just doing what you've already done. You always want to get better each season and try to challenge yourself to achieve more. So I think that's why every year we come back hungry and want to do it over again.
Right here.
Obviously, Calvin Ridley really burst onto the scene last season. Beyond just his talent, what is it that allowed him to be so good, so dynamic, so quickly?
I think the attention to detail that he does, he pays attention. He's very coachable, and he's very smart. As a smart receiver, he came in as a freshman. He understood coverages. He knew how to, run double moves. He sells a lot of routes, and I think just that his experience as a young guy, and he plays like a veteran. So that's what makes him such a good receiver.
One more question. in the back.
OJ, we talk about your running back core, kind of go through the guys and who you guys have. New running backs.
We have Bo Scarborough, Damian Harris. We have Joshua Jacobs. We have BJ Emmons, Ronnie Clark. Those are the guys we have. And like I said, Bo and Damian are the two leaders of that core. And I think those guys have learned from running backs of last year team to do what they do now. They know what to do, but they're coaching up the younger guys. And I think they're doing a great job of leading the running backs this year.